the preparations. I did a video about preparing for, if you want to call it the 3 days of darkness or whatever else is coming. I've been getting a lot of messages about preparing for, like, preparing for a disaster, like emergency preparedness. And I had done a video before about this, and if I can find it and all the videos I've done, I'll post it under here. But just to revisit that, I just want you guys to know that there is something brewing, not just like what we see happening on the political front, but spiritually. There's a lot of spiritual activity going on, both miraculously and also the demonic realm. A lot of evil, a lot of witchcraft happening around me, but also too, God's been showing himself to be true and to be faithful and do some miraculous things for me, and I'm so thankful for it. But what I wanted to let you know is that we need to remember there's certain things that will not that would be impacted if we have no internet, no Wi-Fi, no it's going to be a period. There's going to be a period, no matter what you think and how it comes to be, that we have no internet, we have no Wi-Fi. And I need you to think about all the things that we depend on that require us to have data or internet or Wi-Fi. Things like our cell phone, the time, how we pump gas, how we buy food, how we show pictures. Now, the reason why I'm saying pictures is because sometimes when there's disasters, people need to find their loved ones. We go about our everyday things. Like here we go back and forth. And when a disaster hits, people try to gather their loved ones. Now, if you're using your phone for that purpose, you may only have a certain amount of time before you have no battery life left. And you'd have to get people to find their loved ones, maybe with pictures that were on your phone. So my suggestion with that would be to make sure that you have a hard copy of a recent picture of all your loved ones with you or available to you. Also, if all those things, well, here, it's been quite cold considering it's April going on May. It would be wise to make sure you have layers of clothing available to you no matter where you live on the globe, because for the 3 days of darkness, it's going to be cold everywhere. So if you don't live in a climate where it's usually cold, I'd say layer up. Make sure you have socks. There's certain parts of the body that need to be kept warm: the torso, where the heart is, and feet, hands, the head. So those kind of things it'd be important to have. What else? Things that you can eat that are quick. So like apples, I know can sit for a while, but also things, I know they don't really suggest granola bars because they are chock full of sugar, but if there's a way that you can have a bar that's quick to grab to eat, for people who are not used to fasting, this may be a period that you want to have things that you just grab and eat. Oranges, apples, things that don't go back quickly, that can sit out of the fridge. That being said, if you've noticed, the gas prices have dropped considerably lately, and there's a theory behind why it dropped and whatever else, but that's not the most important thing. The most important thing that if you're a driver, someone who drives, there's no real excuse for you to not have your tanks full. This is, I think, God's mercy and grace. I think you need to have your tanks full because that's one of the things that's computerized, that you need to have a computer working to get the pumps running. And I'm going to give an example of these two things. One, in relations to the pictures, I went to Staples, which is like an office store. They sell they print pictures, they print documents, they sell office pens, paper, agendas, journals, all that kind of thing. I went there for something recently, and they had a machine where you could print off the pictures off your phone, like right off the bat. And I just realized, I was talking about this all this time, but I don't have any really recent pictures of my girls, so I just printed off a whole bunch of them. And they took them, of course. I'm gonna have to go back and do more because it's so uncommon for us to have our printed pictures printed nowadays. I did meet someone that I had known years ago that has a habit of taking pictures, but also printing them so they have them live so you can show them like with a hard copy. And I think that's a good idea to that we should practice to have pictures, at least a few of your loved ones, so that if you need to ask, have you seen this person, that the person could say yes or no, that kind of thing. In regards to gas, I had gone to pump gas on my way to somewhere. Thank God I wasn't in a hurry because their computer went down, and we there was about seven of us just waiting to find out like what was going on. So when he eventually got things going and we went inside, he told us that the reason why the pumps hadn't been working because the computer had gone down. So the people who work behind the scenes to set up the pumps for us to get gas had to be somewhat computer savvy to some degree, at least to be able to unplug it and plug it back in. But the point is that if our computer grid was to be hit in some kind of way and goes down, we are not going to have a way to get gasoline. So as much as it seems like trivial and silly and ridiculous, keep your your tanks full. If you have a way to have a second source of like a container to keep gas with you, you should. But there's going to be a period where we're not going to be able to charge our cars or put gas into them if when this thing goes down. What else did I talk about then? Okay, medication. If you are a person who depends on medication for something, whether it be, and I remember I'm not a big medication person. I don't believe in that. I believe the Lord has provided everything we need for health, but there's many people who I love and who I know who depend on medication. So, um, my suggestion is just to have natural alternatives that you can have in your home all the time. If there's medication that you know someone depends on and you're really concerned for that person, then you have extra stock of that in your home on a continual basis, because no one will be handing out anything. Everyone will be impacted by this 3 days of darkness. There will be no emergency services out there for anybody. Everyone will be advocating and looking about their own lives and their own family and themselves. So it's important to think about that. As I say that, you need to think about alternatives and ways to feed your children in regards to babies. So, like, if you're breastfeeding, that's great. If you are not, formula, powder, or like powdered formula, or this, I think there's things that like when I was growing up, my parents used to give us oatmeal or cornmeal, those kind of things. And that's, as I say that, you need to have means to warm things up. So candles and um, matches and other means to light a candle is important. I don't know the talk, the revelations that I've been getting and other people have been getting is that you won't be able to do much. There won't be much preparing or anything like that. This is a time the Lord wants to draw people to Him. So it's not about like preparing food and all kind of stuff. It's about people just being still and making a decision as to who they serve. This is what the time's going to be about. So as much as I say food, etc., it's about kind of being still. It's going to be very dark. It's going to be like a tangible, thick darkness. So whatever you do prepare should be something you can grab. So as I say that, there should be like a bag that you prepare now. Do not feel weird about preparing right now to have a bag you can grab diapers out of, wipes out of, um, first aid stuff. Someone might hurt themselves, drop something. As I say that too, keep things cluttered, keep your laundry done so that you can get around um t- to uh to gather your family into maybe one room, the living area where there's blankets set up, etc., etc. Um what was I gonna say again? Um, get rid of unnecessary things. This is not a day to be thrifting and collecting stuff that doesn't serve a purpose. It doesn't keep you warm. It doesn't feed the children. It doesn't give you comfort. My suggestion is minimal is better. You need space. You might have neighbors there, people that you in the neighborhood that you're close to may have to come together. I don't even know if a generator will work. I don't think at this time anything will be working. Um, Also, to your pets, if you have pets, God bless them. I did a video on alternative things you can feed your pet. Because once you're out of pet food, you won't be able to run to the store to get food. Now, if you're able to buy food and put food aside for your pet, that's great. But I'd be thinking about the thought about having one bag and running to the store to get another bag. You should be thinking about having a couple bags reserved on the side so that you can feed your pet. Another thing I was led to share with you is water. Before anything else, water is important and a way to filter water. Because after the 3 days of darkness, I don't know how things are going to look. The Lord hasn't revealed much to anybody that I've heard of or even to me. But I know that after that's going to be considered to be like a disaster, and no one's going to be handing out medication, or I don't believe anything else, because even people who are first responders or emergency crew will be looking about their own selves, their own lives, their own families. Okay, this is something you have to really think about and consider. What else? Alternative things for this time in relations to medication. You have to look into what works for you. Things like oil of oregano, castor oil, cloves, things for nausea. I can't remember what they said was good for nausea. I think I'll look into it more. This is just a general, like it came to my mind and I had to share it. Um, if you have like if you're already growing herbs, there's certain herbs you can go to pick that will help for different things, but it's important to have a source of for water. If you're collecting water, that's smart. A way to boil water, a way to filter water, those all things are very important. What else? First aid kits, like things like bandages or whatever, you never know might happen during this time. People get frantic, they panic, may knock things over. As I say that, a means to clean things, things to keep things sanitized. Uh, like Lysol or Dettol. I don't know if you know of Dettol. Something to keep things clean and sanitized. I would say bleach, but bleach is very strong. Hydrogen peroxide, things to keep things to prevent infections. This is a vague video. I have to do a concrete one. I have done one before, but through my walk, I've had to really consider more things that you have to do to stay, to keep your loved ones healthy and calm at this time. If your children have stuffed animals or things that they love, make sure you know where those things are, or a blanket, because you don't want kids panicking during this time, because it's gonna, if unless you've been talking about this all this time, and I know for me talking about it, it's like people don't want to hear it. They want to hear it because it sounds sad, and why are you talking about this? Why are you talking this way? It's because we have to be realistic. Unless the news sets the alarm, people don't really think about these things. And by the time they start talking about it, it's too late. By that time, you don't want to be running around when everyone's running around looking to try to figure out what to do. And we talked about the aurora borealis, those lights in the sky that have been happening across the globe. Now, I just came across something that the lights that will be happening will be red. And I don't know if that's really what's going to happen. Like the lights that are they're going to happen, the aurora borealis are going to be red at that time. That would make sense because the red is kind of like an urgent color, like things are about to happen. But you're going to be seeing, so the precursor for this will be the aurora borealis, these northern lights that you usually just see in the north and mostly in Canada. You're going to be seeing them across the globe. And that should be the indicator that get your act together, and hopefully you've been haven't been taking this lightly. You've been seeing these lights and saying they're pretty, like it's Christmas, but these are actually indicators like get your act together. This is a time to be serious. I have people in my life that I would like to share this with, but I know they're not going to believe me. I don't even know. I've been praying about how to approach them about this, because I've come in encounter with people that I have known in the past that I've reconnected with, that are just going to say this is nuts and this is fine. I don't know. This idea that things are crazy, like people are just, I can't even say that they're crazy. I could say that they're just brainwashed because they're really waiting for the news to say something. And the news has a purpose. Their purpose is to maintain a certain tone among the populace. So if they wanted people to panic, they'll tell you this is what you should do. But if they want people to prepare, they be saying to prepare. People should be living a prepared life. I've been always saying this. Um, I have had stuff in this room that I've been sleeping in. I've had stuff put away in here, And what they were doing was damaging, poking holes in things, damaging things. And I thought, you know what? um I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not, I don't have the means to do it anyway. I was just basically, what I do, instead of buying food to eat for myself, I'd buy salt, I'd buy sugar, I buy pepper, things that you can, if you grab like something on the, like outside, to to cook, that you can add actually a little salt to it. And actually salt's important because we do need salt. Salt is naturally found in certain foods. But I stopped doing that because I couldn't afford to do it. I have other things that need to be done. I need to be able to live. And there's people I encountered that I was able to help in some way. I don't know why the Lord leads me to encounter people who are in need of help. Um, but when I'm able to give like $1, I do, or more if I can. But there's people out there that have lost, over COVID, have lost everything and have not come back from that. And so there's a lot I'm sharing right now. I know I don't want you to be overwhelmed. I'm going to try and do a concrete video sharing what the Lord has shown me in relations to how to prepare for what is to come. We do need to be prepared for what is to come. If you want to go to an emergency prepared website, every state and every province, I think across the globe, has their own preparedness website. So they'll be able to tell you what it would be, that if I've missed anything that you need to consider in relations to an emergency. Because the reason why they're doing that is because it's not their responsibility to provide for you. It's our responsibility to provide for our loved ones and for ourselves. And we have ample opportunity for that. It's our job to look for this information and to prepare for this. I'm getting this message clearly and so sternly lately. It is not a time to play. I know things seem bleak and people are still trying to figure out how, still digging their way out of what happened with COVID. I get it. But if you have the means, if you feel you don't have the means, pray God will lead someone to you, and you will. This is a community. It's a community effort. We need to get together as a community if possible. I know people don't trust people nowadays, but there's people that you must know in your lives that need to come together for this time. This is not a time to be thinking about like it's going to be okay. And when they tell us to prepare, we should prepare. That would be too late. It's too late when the news starts saying this is what's going on. It's too late when you see the news circling about the manic running around people are doing on the grocery. By that time, you should have been prepared already because you've been hearing it from me. So you should have known to be prepared ahead of time. If you have people who are elderly, people who are living with you who are elderly, have a difficult time getting around, your home probably has already been prepared. Like you have probably little clutters you can get around, but just think about what you may need to do for that person or those people. Bless you. Thank you. Yes, it's a lot of what I'm able to do is with through you all. I wanted to say because I've been going through a lot of warfare lately. I've been attacks against my physical body, and I noticed that a lot of people who are doing what I do have had the same problems. They've been having physical issues, like going through a stroke or something, especially the older ones. But I've been learning a lot about the spiritual realm and why this is happening. Because it doesn't happen to anybody. It seems to be the chosen people who are chosen for this time. A lot of them are going through something medically. So I will be doing another video lately about what I discovered, how this is happening, and how I've been dodging this through God's revelation and His help. It's been quite the revelation in relations to witchcraft and what's happening in my life. So I will share that another time. Hopefully, I'm going to try and come on more often because there's a lot that I need to share, and people have been messaging me saying that they need to hear more from me. So I will make it a point to do that. The enemy has been keeping me, been trying to keep me from coming on. Like I just started a video. This is my second attempt to do this. I did the first attempt, and the phone rang. My phone never rings. Who's calling me? So I know that the enemy doesn't want me posting, which is fine. YouTube isn't paying me for this, like I said, because they are trying to, and like, God's allowing this for whatever reason. Um, but YouTube doesn't want a lot of this to come out. Doesn't want us preparing the masses. Doesn't want us sharing the information we're sharing. right? Because if they wanted you guys to know this, they'd be talking about this on the news, because the news is supposed to be the platform to share information, right? Anyway, that's basically all I can think of. If you can think of anything else, please do put it in the comments, because I'm going to be doing a concrete video. Probably I won't be speaking on it. I'll probably just do like one of the ones I do with pictures to highlight what it is you need to be thinking about in relation to preparing for what's to come. Again, water, medication, alternative means for medication and for health, keeping your laundry done, keeping your cars full of gas, keep making sure you have things to sanitize. You're keeping your home clean. Oh, one other thing. For this 3 days of darkness, I don't know when it's gonna fall for each of us, but if you have garbage and things you need to purge from your home, please get rid of it, like ASAP. And in relations to getting rid of physical, getting rid of bodily waste. I don't know how interconnected the sewage system is with computer system, but if it is impacted, we have to think of means of how to get rid of physical waste. If the toilet does not flush, or if we not, I don't believe we're going to be able to get clean water. I don't think that's how it works unless the grid is working. So there's a lot of things to consider and think about. I collected some like like wipes and sanitizing liquids, like I said, Dettol, things that you can use on the body, and disposable paper, like paper towels and wipes, but also to reusable towels, ones that when if you wet it, you get it wet, you can wring it out easily, and you can wipe the face or something, because hygiene is going to be important too. We at my home, we bathe at least once a day. And I don't think that's going to be a luxury we're going to have at that time, but people are going to want to feel good a little bit. So, like, getting wiped up, cleaned up a bit, especially if you're a woman and you are menstruating or you've just had a baby, those kind of things are things to consider. This has been weighing heavily on my mind. So, consider that. Again, if you've thought of anything else, please add it in the description, because I'll be doing a full video on this, so that people can get their head wrapped around this. This is important. Okay, so yeah, like I said, water, pictures of your loved ones, ways to feed your pets that are alternatives to what you buy at the store, or stocking up on stuff like that. Bottled water will be good. Cases of it, bottles of it. Considering your neighbors, connecting with your neighbors. You don't want to panic, make anyone panic, but just like say, if you thought of anything in relations to an emergency, what you might do, or come on over, or I made a list. You could print out a list and say, I made a list of things that you might want to consider if there's an emergency. You might want to consider having that or whatever. I don't know what the relationship that people have with their neighbors, but like really and truly, this is not a time to play. I'm just getting a lot of messages on this. I do not want people to panic, but I just want you to be sound. The Lord hasn't given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. We need to consider this. This is so important. All right, guys. Love you all so very much, and thank you for supporting the channel. I don't know how I would have got through all this time without you all. There was a recent I want to be able to respond to everybody with what's going on, but this is my way to make sure that you get the message that yes, I get it, and I thank you so very much. I appreciate you all so very much. I don't know why the Lord's allowing what's happening with me to happen to me, but I know that I need to be able to stay focused on what He's called me to do, so that I can fulfill the purpose for my life, because I can't. My life has been so upside down. It'd be a shame to not fulfill the purpose, considering that most people in my life have done really amazing things, and I haven't had a chance to do any of those things because of what the Lord has been preparing me for, if you can understand that. All right, guys, I love you. Until next time, remember, you're made marvelously. You are a special, very special generation, prepared and created for this time. All right, until next time, be blessed.